Yo, 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 yo. What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again with another Quick Dose Live, all right? Oh, shucks. Oh, shucks. I didn't mean that to happen. What's up, everybody? Let me see here. Let me get my restream chat up so I can see what my peoples are saying. And then in addition to that, let me get my loot chat up as well. See what the peoples are saying. Now, I have vowed that I am not going to get too long-winded with this one. Johanzo Villegas, I know, man. Please not for 2 hours, my man. I got you, brother. I got you. This will be a quick dose, at least in comparison to them other ones. I got you, brother. I got you. All right, let's see here. What's up to everybody, man? Interesting numbers out there, without a shadow of a doubt. Caught them this morning, but I had to do some running before I could really jump into this. But shout out to everybody that's tuning in, that's watching. I want to thank y'all big time. Do me a huge favor. You see that little share button on the bottom of the YouTube screen? Just do me a huge favor, man. Please tweet this out. Let everybody know we out here. You know what I'm saying? So we can get the good news rolling. All right. So let me see. Twitter. I think we good, man. All right, man. So let's talk about it, y'all. Make sure I got everything up that I need. Okay. Let me know if y'all can hear me loud and clear. If y'all can, I want to get into it. I want to hold on one moment. I'm sorry. I said this wasn't gonna be too long. I'm sorry. All right, here we go. I just want to say this to you guys. Well, first, a couple things. First and foremost, the audio version of Vitamin G podcast this past Monday is now live, so go check that out after the show. Big ups to the Vitamin G podcast crew, you know what I'm saying, for putting out another good show. Check it on Radio Public, man. When you check it on Radio Public, you definitely help out the crew. It don't cost you a dime. Radio Public's just as a stable platform as anything else. In addition, we will be doing Scram Punks today. I want to say 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Dirk Griggity's channel. Please be on the lookout for that. You know what I'm saying? Right after he's on Xbox Nation. And then I believe we will have Nethos in the house. We'll have Nethos in the house. And lastly, if you didn't see Z's podcast yesterday, the infamous King Blood murder session of D-Batch. Oh, you got to see that, man. That's what, oh, man. That's one for the history books, man. I tell D all the time, I'm not going to release what's in the DMs. I think I rubbed D the wrong way. I'm going to be honest with you. I think I rubbed D the wrong way. Because I'm straightforward. I mean, I could joke around, whatever, but I'm straightforward, man. And when I see silly shit happening, I can't help but open my mouth. Right? Big up to Tsunami in the chat. What up, bro? Dirk Griggity overdone said a meme can be avoided, man. Hey, yo, you do the memes, man. That's how I can let mama know I made it. I think I irritate D because I don't mean this in a way that Alex meant it, but D's an enthusiast, meaning he gets, I'm an enthusiast too. I get excited on the nerd junket information that comes with video games and stuff like that. The thing is that they question D on his veracity to do due diligence. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me put away the thesaurus. What I mean by that is, does he fully vet and research the shit that he looks up and that he spews to you guys? And it's looking questionable about that. So as we be vetting stuff in our DMs, I say shit to D all the time and he ignore, you know what I'm saying? He got this air apparent to him. Like, I've been here first. You can't tell me nothing. I have life experiences. Now, I may be newer to the YouTube scene. I may have a smaller channel, but I got two eyes, okay? And I know how to recognize groundswell. And I don't be doing capping. See, here's the problem. When you be capping for a console, Sometimes you be in the silo and you don't be paying attention to stuff on the periphery. I fell victim to that. So I be trying to tell D, a lot of us, and he don't listen. And he says stuff, but then he'll throw something out there to protect himself from cover. But it just didn't work yesterday, man. That software ray tracing stuff, I mean, he did come out with a video that mentioned that there was going to likely be hardware ray tracing, but there was more of him talking about software tracing than there was that one video. That's what he got to understand. Sometimes you got to be, like I tell y'all all the time, words matter. Y'all got to be careful with y'all words. But man, oh man, roll that beautiful beef footage, man. They gave it to D, man. It was horrible. Durand Robinson said, that was epic. What's good, all Big D206 and Fatal Charade? How's it go? Hey, my bad, Fatal. Big ups to Fatal on my chat. On my Ghost Recon stream last night. I'm sitting there talking to Fatal, and I'm like, oh, he must be doing something. And here I was muted. And then he chimed in and said, hello, is anybody there? I'm like, oh shit, I've been doing this stream, and but I've been having fun with Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Definitely, I'm gonna touch on that real quick. I got a real big. I'm gonna say this real quick and let me get into the video. I got a real big video coming out tomorrow about all this. I'll just say this, the outrage culture is starting to get on my nerves. I don't mind people not liking something. I love the diversity in the gaming culture. I love the diversity in the opinions. That's why we be going back and forth. I'll be spitting all over my pop. I love this stuff, man. I live and die for this, right? I love that y'all think differently from me because I don't want shit to be carbon copy and cookie cutter, right? But there's some people out here in this community that feel that if you don't like exactly what they like, if you don't want to eat the chicken nuggets instead of having spaghetti with them, you know what I'm saying? They go apeshit. And now we got prominent YouTubers and content creators telling people not to like what they like. I'm not going for it. I've been gaming longer than most of y'all been alive. And I'm not saying that like I'm just saying, you're not going to tell me somebody that's been gaming for 30 plus years, I'm not supposed to like that because your young Similac mouth ass feel like that you know better than me. Please, it's not going to happen. So I got a video coming tomorrow that addresses all that, man. It's getting out of control and something needs to be said. With that said, let's get into the video. All right, I think we got enough people watching right now. So here's the deal, y'all. I will say big ups to Red Dragon, because I got to give credit where credit is due. Red Dragon first came out with this tweet this morning that I caught early in the morning. And the tweet says, Japanese gamers don't buy Microsoft Xboxes, but the console has still whatever. And it was a tweet it was a snippet taken from CNBC, a CNBC video, this one, where they talk about, Microsoft not really penetrating the Japanese market. And it's always been like that. When it comes to stuff like this, Japanese businesses and the consumer base, they're nativish. And I'm not saying that to be ignorant or sound bigoted or anything like that. I'm just saying, as someone that is heavily embedded in the culture, who has actually done business on behalf of another Fortune 500 company. Shit, I tried to mix it all together. On behalf of another Fortune 500 company, someone who has done business with big time Japanese businesses, some of the biggest out there. I can't say anything. I wish I could. But someone who has done business on behalf of American Fortune 500 company with these Japanese companies, they are nativists. They work well together to keep this shit within their dome. Okay, so they don't like the American company as far technology. They feel is their thing, right? They feel technology is their thing, and they are not cool so much with the American company coming in. You know what I'm saying? The American company like Microsoft at the time that really had a stink in the air back in the mid to late 90s. Now Apple has been able to do make some penetration there, but Apple walks a very fine line. You know what I'm saying? Where Microsoft's American stench was more prominent, quote unquote, right? So with that being said, that's just part of the culture. But that's here nor there. The bigger thing is this, which Red Dragon highlighted. 46.9 million Xbox One sold worldwide through the second quarter of 2019. All right. Now, why is that important, you say? Because, as I've been proclaiming, we have not had numbers released by Microsoft. However, we've had a lot of triggers and a lot of bullet points that pointed us in the direction of what the sales were. And prior to this, those bullets and those trigger points had pointed us to around anywhere between 35 to 40 million consoles sold. Now, to give you guys a better understanding of where they got this 46.9 million number, it's according to IDC. Now, IDC is a global firm, a global analyst firm, right? And they've done some data research and they came up with that 46.9 million number. And they're a very well recognized and very well credited analyst firm. You know what I'm saying? So that's why CNBC is quoting them. You know what I'm saying? CNBC ain't just gonna go and listen to, ain't gonna listen to me and Mass talking on YouTube and take me and Mass's numbers. No, they're gonna do their due diligence, and because they as far as numbers are concerned, their credibility's on the line big time. You know what I mean? They have a lot of responsibility in that avenue to be accurate with the stuff. Doesn't mean it's 100% right, but it gives us a ballpark figure that may be a little bit more on par. So that 46.9 million, again, is like 7 million higher than what we anticipated. Now, they quote that as of the second quarter. So the thing that makes this even more interesting is, are they talking second quarter regular or Microsoft's fiscal second quarter? Because if they're just talking a regular second quarter, that means as of the end of June. That's not including the consoles the last 2 months. If they're talking about Microsoft's second quarter, then I could be more closer time period than June. With that being said, regardless of what time period that is, Microsoft's we're not even in the holiday season yet. So remember that's very interesting. But let's break down this number, because honestly, it's a good and a bad thing if you're an Xbox gamer. You know how your boy do. I gotta come down the middle. I gotta look at all angles. First, let's talk about the good. The good is that if you think about it, and if you really look at it, the Xbox is tracking similarly to the 360. Believe it or not. I know I had to double check it myself. Now I want to show y'all something. Don't laugh at me, man. Don't laugh at me. And admittedly, I will say this. Admittedly, I have to verify a lot of numbers here. Let me see. So, okay. Do I have it? Okay, yes, up. I wanted to make sure it's up on the screen. Oh, the almighty Spartan God said, how was it good? Wait, I'm gonna break it down to you. What's going on, Xbox 448? What's going on, man? So, here's how it's good. If you track the Xbox 360 time period during around the same time frame, you'll find out that the Xbox One is actually close. Okay. Now everything that I have, this is I do data analytics, so I keep spreadsheets and shit all over the place. So I have my own personal spreadsheet that contains various numbers and stuff like that. You'll see that, you know what I mean, and this line right here represents Xbox sales of the 360 year over year. So when you look at a 6-year litmus, which includes their launch year, which really isn't a full year, which is 2005. So you go 2005 through 2011. Am I doing that right? Let me see. 2000. Let me do this real quick. 2013. So I want to do 2013. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I got 7 blocks to jump to when I do the Xbox One. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at this here. All right, so did that right? Okay, let me make sure I'm doing it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and then we go. Okay, so when we go over 7 blocks of data, which that'll properly sum up the number of Xbox 360 sold. Around that time, we have 63 million or 64 million Xbox sold, right? So With that being said, if we go over to the Xbox One, do the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, we go over the same period of time, and the Xbox One is at 46 million sold. Got to keep in mind here two things. Number one, that Xbox, this isn't even a complete 2019 yet. This 4.25 million doesn't even represent all of 2019 because we're not in a holiday yet, right? And you also got to take into consideration that you have a lot more saturation within the Xbox ecosystem due to due to Game Pass and due to Game Pass and Play Anywhere. You have a lot of people that are in the PC market that are now in the Xbox ecosystem where they couldn't have done that last generation, right? So with that being said, stop, Silverback, stop that. I think me and you've been on that before with the red ring of death. With the red ring, okay, if that's the case, then let's not count PlayStation selling special edition consoles every year. You know what I'm saying? And in addition to that, with red ring of death, it didn't factor into the fact that repairs were made. $1 billion was spent on repairs made. A lot of you people that use that argument, I don't think you played 360. The repairs made on the on pre-owned Xboxes and them being shipped back did not factor into sales. Not at all. That's why they spent $1 billion on those. Were not sales. If you know anything about retail and wholesale sales, then those units were considered RMA. They were repair units. You'll hear that acronym RMA because they were repair units. You cannot count those as sales. They're repair units. Now, did people buy additional consoles because they had the red ring of death? Yeah, of course they did. But at the tunes that you guys are trying to make it seem to be, no. Because the software, it doesn't make any sense. Again, the fact of the matter is you have many factors where people buy multiple consoles, and red ring of death was not a factor, being that they spent $1 billion fixing the red ring of death. So most of those red ring of deaths were repaired. They were old units that were refurbished and sent back to the user. So that's that. Now, with that being said, you have 63 million at the time, instead of there being 63 million consoles of the Xbox 360 being sold. And then you could have around 50 million by the end of the year, right? Depending upon when they're relating the second quarter, okay? So we were under the impression that around this time, the Xbox 360 was double the Xbox One, right? And it doesn't appear to seem the case. It could be anywhere between 11, 12 to maybe 10 million by the end of the year, which makes it not horrible. Considering, you got to consider this, y'all, that for them to only be behind possibly 10 million consoles when the PlayStation is beating them 2 to 2.5 to 1, what that tells you is that the Xbox isn't doing horrible. It's not doing good, but it's not doing horrible. It's doing subpar because, again, in comparison to last generation, it's down around 10 million consoles. But what it says more than anything is that PlayStation is just doing gangbusters. That PlayStation is just killing the game. That's the bigger story more than not. So if you're an Xbox gamer, it gives you more hope to let you know that there is a little bit more of a consumer base that can help keep things afloat than you may have expected going into next generation. But it's indicative of Microsoft to grow that consumer base beyond what they have now, beyond what they had to 360, and even larger. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So so basically what I'm saying is things aren't as grim as we thought they were. And again, the simple fact that they're 10 million down instead of 50% down, even though they're being outdone 2.5 to 1, that speaks volumes. Again, doesn't mean that the system is doing Doesn't mean that the system cells get an A+. Hell no. It just means that things aren't as grim as we may have thought it was, and we just got to give more credit to Sony for Sony just taking advantage of this generation and flying with all the consumer needs and the consumer anticipation going into this generation. I mean, if you think about it, Sony took advantage of the riled up consumer competition. People came into this generation, they came in wanting, all right, look, after last generation, you had 360 outperform PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 3's performance in comparison to PlayStation 2 was really drastic. You know what I'm saying? They went from selling 150 at the end of that million at the end of that generation to 80 million. That's almost 100%. That's almost 100% drop, or 50%. 100%. No, 50% drop. I'm sorry. That's a 50% drop. So, with that being said, that raised a lot of eyebrows last generation, and people were really laser focused in on this generation. And PlayStation didn't play around, and they took advantage of everything that they could to make sure that they were on top, and they were on top by a wide margin. So, kudos to them, man. You know what I'm saying? Large part, I believe it was their entertainment pedigree as it relates to their releases and their marketing. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine that only being 10 million behind your generation, where you knocked off the almighty PlayStation, right? You're 10 million behind in the same time frame. That if they would have put out the caliber type of games that they had last generation, you know, how much of a different story would we be talking? You see what I'm saying? So this is the good news for, if you're an Xbox fan, is that the base hasn't precipitated really too much. It's just that there was so much enthusiasm that was ginned up this generation, and all that enthusiasm benefited Sony. All that enthusiasm benefited Sony. And you lost some people. You definitely lost some people. You didn't lose half your people, you lost some people. But you got to do something to rein in on this enthusiasm. And I do agree with the sentiment though, that this was one of the worst generations to not only lose in, but lose in such wide fashion. So if you're an Xbox fan, what I suggest to you is don't do the damage control. Get out there and really push them to do big games, because Microsoft got a long ways to go. And again, like I said, I always give suggestions. This is not an RIP Xbox podcast. I don't do that here. One of my suggestions that I like to give is that I think Microsoft, Sony benefited from their roots in Hollywood. They know how to gin up excitement. They know how to keep people excited. Microsoft is more of a technical company, and they were really using like second party involvement to do that. And their second party is now evaporated. Their second party support, as far as being stellar, has evaporated. And now they're trying to carry that load on their own. In order for them to do that, they need to hire more people, I think, rooted in Hollywood or something like that, to try to start some type of catch-up mechanism with Sony as far as mindshare is concerned. Because Sony got it in the bag, and it proves right there. You only lost about a quarter, less than a quarter, 20. You lost only about 20% of your base, and you're being outdone 2-1. Wow. So, with that said, that is the good. That is the good to take away from this. If you want to look at the glass half full. But before I move on to the next part, let me move to the chat. So, let me see here. I didn't play the 360 due to... Okay, well, all right, there we go. D Almighty said, this is some crazy form of damage control. How is this damage control? Did I say that the PlayStation... Here's what you guys want to do, which is silly. And this is why, D, you're going to be the first person on here when Sony goes day and date, We're gonna see who gets the last. I got a dust cap. I got a dust cap specially made for my homie D Almighty. Showing that the base for Xbox isn't as diminished as we thought it was. Showing what the actual gap is damage control. Did I say that Xbox is doing what they need to do and they need to keep what they're doing, so keep at it? No. I get the console war bibble babble. I get that y'all want to root for y'all favorite team no matter what they do. The quarterback throws 7 interceptions. Y'all want to do it. I get it. But at the end of the day, you got to admit that, me included, we thought Xbox was around 35 to 40 million. This shows that they're higher than that if this is true. Because again, as in the title, I say this is a rumor. And also with that being said, if it is true that when you look at the gap between this generation and last generation, they've lost at most 20% of their base, which still isn't horrible in comparison to the fact that they're being outdone 2-1. We thought that they lost more of their base. I did. And they've lost only 20% of their base. So that's a dedicated base, to say the least. But that does not mean that they're doing everything that they need to do and they need to keep at it. Absolutely not. So don't get mad because somebody recognizes some ray of sunshine for the other team. All right? Don't do that to yourself. PlayStation 3 was more than fine, thank you. Well, we can't have a discussion then. I can't have a discussion with you if you don't have any familiarity. Laquan said Microsoft really fumbled this gen. Absolutely. Funny claiming to be a god sounds like a person on drugs. All right, y'all getting into it in the chat. Microsoft needs something big to bring people back. Absolutely. Christopher Hart said, Sony has their hands in the new game studios, including indies and VR. Going forward, innovation is what Sony going to continue to lead. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. The base for Xbox is diminished, period. Chris, again, that's rah. You cheerleading right now, bruh. Pull down your skirt. Don't let it show your knees, man. don't uncross your legs. You're cheerleading now. I just showed you it's not diminished. We thought it was a lot worse, but they've lost around 20% of their base from last generation. If that's the case, then was PlayStation 3 diminished by losing more than 50% of its base from the PlayStation 2? No. So we gotta stop that. Now that is the positive news. To look at this is, let you, the Xbox fans can stumble away from that. Here is the bad news. So, if my Xbox brethren are going to gloat over these numbers, then the majority of my Xbox brethren, y'all owe someone a big apology. Do you know who that person is? It's a fellow by the name of John Peddie. I want to show you something. Before I go into these numbers, I just want to reintroduce who John Peddie is. Last year, we got a hold at Triple B, a set of numbers from another analyst firm like I that said that had reported Xbox numbers based upon SoC chips or APU chips or GPU chips ordered, right? And they didn't do it for console war stuff. They were the people within this group. They were fans of gaming. They love gaming. You can tell as we brought John Peddie on himself to talk about his information. And he has shown that the results of 2017 and 2018 were grim. They were not good for Xbox. That's when people were starting to think that Xbox was only like 20 million down from PlayStation, right? 20, maybe 30 million down from PlayStation. That's what we thought. I thought it too. I was an idiot and thought that too, right? And when John Peddie had brought out his version of this chart last year, it proved that they were being outdone at least 2-1. And my Xbot brethren didn't like that. They got mad. A lot of them hit your boy up in the DM. And they let me know, hey, yo, they talk about y'all at Reset Era. They going over your numbers. They said your numbers look funny, Daddy. They smell like poo-poo. You might want to rethink this. And I said, no. I don't fulfill no purpose for no console maker. I am a gamer. I may have my preferences, but nobody's cutting me a check. No one's feeding my family. I'm feeding theirs. Here's what the numbers represent. The numbers represent the number of sock chips that were sent at a specific time. For full disclosure, I've had various people just hit me up. For full disclosure, I had to go rap to my homie Porter Rock. And I know y'all think we all hate each other, but we don't. And I don't think Porter Rock's gonna mind me letting y'all know what this conversation was. I said, P, because Porter Rock went over the numbers with me as we were getting them in. And he actually did a follow-up show with Z after the John Peddie numbers went up. And I said, Porter Rock, help me understand, bro, because you're good with numbers too. Is there something that I'm missing here? Or is it just people just putting up blinders for no reason? And he said, bro, it's more than plain to see that Xbox is performing worse than people want to deal with. This makes perfect sense. And anybody out here trying to carry the one and slide the two and do all this other stuff, it doesn't make any sense. Xbox is down 2-1. They want to believe that so many consoles have been sold, but only so many chips have been purchased. It's not possible. You can't have 50 million consoles out there if you only bought 40 million chips. End of story. But my bots, they didn't want to believe it. So not only did they do that, but they went to my man John Peddie and started harassing him. And John Peddie came back with like, yo, what is this? And I was like, Peddie, no pun intended. Welcome to the crumb side. And this is I've held this information since September. I've held this chart since September 3rd. Big ups to my homie John Peddie for forwarding it to us. But I've held this report since September 3rd. Because I was waiting for something to drop to compare it to, and bam, here it is. You see this number right here? Using the same methodology that he did in his report last year, John Peddie was able to show you through estimate. Again, it's not an exact science because you don't get exact numbers only from who? Microsoft. But y'all can get estimates for PlayStation and y'all can live and die with that, right? But look how that number is 46.8. And again, John Peddie's company has worked with companies like Samsung. They've worked all over the world. They're an esteemed financial group too, or an analyst group too. And let's look at this. Boom! 46.9. Let me do it for you again. Boom! 46.8. Let me do it for you again. Boom! 46.9. So for all of you, if you wanna, I see in my chat, they wanna hold the foot on the neck, and I get it. It's the console war. I get it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, nah, this is still bad because they're down 2-1. No, I'm gonna take the credit away for Microsoft doing horrible, and I'm just gonna give more of the pie to PlayStation doing good. PlayStation did a hell of a job this generation ginning up support and mindshare. Golly, them mojos need to write a playbook on it. So what they need to do as Microsoft is understand what Sony did right and do better where Sony did right in those areas. But when you get beyond the console war, bibble babble, or as my homie Fatal Charade points out, I thought the console war is over. The fanboy war. If you wanna get past the fanboy war, bibble babble, them being at 46.9 million, possibly, and losing 20%, possibly, opposed to losing 50%, is what we normally thought. It's the same thing that if PlayStation can bounce back from losing 50%, then knowing that Xbox probably couldn't do it at 50%, but now that we see that they're at 20%, okay, that's a little optimism there. It's a little optimism there, not for this generation, but going into next generation. With that said, my clear message to every single Xbot out there: if any of you motherfuckers harass my homie John Peddie, doubted our veracity to give y'all correct numbers or our ability to comprehend sock chip sales over console stuff, if y'all did all that shit, y'all need to get on Twitter right now and do hashtag sorry John Peddie. Y'all need to go and do it. I don't want to see anybody capping for this 47 million unless you say sorry John Peddie, because if you don't, I'm on your ass. Pause, because I got time today, cuz we're not going to continue to be hypocrites out here. We're not going to continue to act like our words don't matter. We can just say anything and just get up here and the ism and the schism, the bism and the bism, and sound good on all professional on the mic, but spill any bullshit that you want. I got time today, cuz. Y'all see in my video tomorrow morning, I got time today for any and everybody. This shit has to stop. So, with that said, I get my PlayStation. I'm not even mad at y'all, man. I get my PlayStation people. They want to keep that foot in the neck. All right, keep that veracity up. I'm not mad at you. Y'all gonna do y'all thing, man. This is a competitive sport. Let's do it. But my message is more to my Xbox people, because I'm repalled and I'm disgusted by the simple fact that my homie, I had to hold this shit. I couldn't even get homie on the show. Y'all was so disgusting to him. All because y'all didn't want to face reality. But now that we got a lot more bullet points and numbers out there that show you that, yeah, Xbox is down 2-1. What you say about John Peddie now? What y'all say about John Peddie now? So with that said, all right, let me get back to my chat. Silverback says, if they bought 46.9 million, they haven't sold them all. Millions. Haven't sold or aren't even manufactured yet. I don't know. Because what John Peddie does, just for full disclosure, bro, what John Peddie does is when he does his numbers, when he first releases his report, the numbers reflect what they are at the beginning of the year. That's why you see this estimate here, right? So he's saying as of the beginning of 2019, Microsoft ordered 46.8 million chips. That's how many that they purchased. Now it's possible that as of, it depends. It's possible that as of going into the fourth quarter of 2019, that they were able to sell that and some. It's possible. I mean, 7 million ain't nothing. 7 million ain't nothing. If you look at this chart, in its heyday, Microsoft is selling 10 million console a year with the 360. PlayStation is selling 14, 17, 20, 18 million. And just so far in 2019, they already had 8.5 million that's being estimated. That's why that's insane. That's why salmon color. So 7 million is nothing, Silverback. And sales are way down. Yeah, okay. So sales are about 20% down overall, which is not fantastic. It's not great at all. But if you take into consideration that the PlayStation is outdoing them 2-1, and they've only lost 20% of their base, that just tells you that there were more entries into gaming than we originally believed. However, all those new entries primarily benefited PlayStation. And PlayStation did a hell of a job snagging them up. So again, looking at all this data, I rather to say that as far as sales are concerned of just consoles, considering that you got Play Anywhere and that you got Game Pass, I give more of the credit to Sony just doing a hell of a job opposed to Xbox doing horribly. They didn't do horribly, they did bad. So the status has been upgraded from horrible to bad. Still not good, but it's not horrible. You see what I'm saying? So that's the good news out of it for Xbox fans. The bad news is if they want to live and die off of this information right here, then they can't be hypocrites about it. They owe my boy John Peddie an apology. I've had this report since September 2019, and I couldn't release it because I'm trying to get homie on the show, but y'all did so much harassing that I couldn't get him on the show. So with that being said, there you go. I still feel it's a glimmer of hope for Xbox fans going into next generation. Not a glimmer, right now, Xbox should have done a better job of captivating some of those new entries like Sony did. Admittedly, they did a horrible job in doing it. With that said, we had Sony that bounced back from a 50% drop, and Xbox has a 20% drop. The raw numbers are less, yes, the raw numbers are less. I don't want to whitewash that. The raw numbers are significantly less. With that being said, it doesn't mean that if Xbox starts doing what they need to do, that it's too late. A 50% drop, like we were thinking, would have meant it's too late. 20% drop means that they got a tough hill to climb. The odds are against them, but they got a tough hill to climb. Very tough hill to climb. So that should be enlightening to Xbox fans to let them know that there are more motivating factors that can give a glimmer of hope to Xbox to do better instead of them just throwing their hands up and giving up on the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? With that said, y'all shouldn't want there to be nothing but bad news for Xbox. Like, honestly, when I think about this, I'm happy that PlayStation bounced back. I truly am. Because I don't think this generation Xbox was focused on the type of software that I care about. They really weren't. And this forces them to do better. Like they've been trying not to focus on that type of software, but this is forcing them to have to do it. And I appreciate that. And I'm glad that Sony, I'm glad that Sony's giving the ass whooping that they giving. Because that just forces Microsoft to do better. We want that competition in there. Trust me, y'all don't want nobody bowing out. So this is a small glimmer of hope, and a big but, I want to close off with this because this was supposed to be a quick dose and it ain't again. I want to say that Xbox, you in the chat, homie. You're a supreme delegate within the Xbox Nation, homie Xbox 448. We gotta talk to these people, man. We gotta let them know that what we did here, bro, was disgusting. My man used the same methodology. He's a gamer, but he runs an analyst firm. He used the same methodology to come with these numbers. And if we're gonna cap for these numbers right here, My man John Peddie was right there. We need hashtag sorry, John Peddie. You know what I'm saying? We need to do that. So before, if anybody, and again, these are just rumors, but if I see any of my Xbox brethren out here capping for these numbers, saying, ooh, Microsoft is at 46.9 million. They're not under 40 million. Aha. And I go and I find out that you was doubting these numbers and you was part of the behind the scenes. You gonna get this work. It's as simple as that. With that being said, hey bro, hey bot, let's chat, because if I'm free, I'll do it. Saturdays are real fickle for me, but if I'm free, let's do it. With that said, it's your boy MM2K. Paul G, what's up, man? Christopher Hart. Christopher Hart with his stuff again. My homie Xbox 448. Hey, I gotta get you and the homie D Knox on my channel again too, man. When I redo the podcast on Twitch, man. We gotta do that again. That was fun. We got the homie No Russian. We got who else we got here? D Almighty, Spartan God, Silverback, Christopher Hart again. Andres Matavo, 10 million is nothing. It's just a quarter of the sales this gen. About more than 20%. More likely it's 20%. Did I say 10 million is nothing? Did I say that? If I said that, I'm bad. My bad. I should have said 10 million is nothing. I'm sorry. That was wrong. I'm admit when I'm wrong. If I said 10 million is nothing, that's I hope that was the full context, Andre. I hope you were not taking what I said out of context, and I will check back. But if that's the full context of what I said, what's up, King Thrash? You came late, bro. If that's the full context of what I said, then you gonna get this work too, bro. 39,000 in North America. Come on, Silverback, stop it. We got Big D 206. How many chips are in these server blades? And RJ Matava says, what does it say that the Switch is almost there? Yeah, no, of course not. D Almighty Spartan God says, those sales are dog shit. They don't compare to Sony's. No way, no how. But again, it doesn't mean that they utterly mean that Xbox is dead, as a lot of us had perceived. Fatal Charade, thank you for coming through again. Walter, what's up? Graphic God. I don't think they care about numbers. They leave that to the PlayStation extremists. And I think I got everybody, man. I appreciate y'all for coming through as always. Laquan, big ups to Laquan, the homie Laquan. And Rulio 44. What's up? Joe Hensel. So that's not counting Gears 5 bumping console Games Pass, right? Like I said, you gotta factor in Game Pass and Play Anywhere, man. We can't say that nobody, if those things weren't available, we can't say that nobody would have bought an Xbox in response. You can't say that. So who knows if that 10 million would have been evaporated and people that would have been forced to buy an Xbox, or what, overdone Duran Robinson and Dirk Griggity. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate all y'all for coming out. This was another not so quick dose. With that said, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Don't forget, bots, before you start capping for these numbers, hashtag sorry John Peddie. Peace.